Hey guys, how is it going? First working day of the week. Okay, and in this position, I think a good thing is that if I could put my bishop on, the first thing you see is that h1 check, but then the king runs to f2, and then I don't see immediate follow up. Maybe rook h2 check, and then again king runs. One option is that knight takes the rook, but then we take back with the queen, and maybe it's good for us. I was my dream scenario is that I could fork his queen, like saying check at e3 with the bishop and winning the queen, but unfortunately my bishop is not defended over there. So the only force move currently is rook h1. Is there any other? I mean, any other move is losing, because the point is that he has a rook f8 move right now. If I slow play the game, he plays rook f8 and I'm done. Of course, I could play something strange like b6, and after rook f8 I play king b7, but that's not good. So let's do the first one. I'm thinking about taking the knight right now. Taking the knight and saying check with the queen. Taking the knight, he should certainly take my rook, otherwise is most likely clear win for black. So if I take the knight, he takes, I say check with the queen. He has one square to escape, and or maybe two square to escape, and they are like f2, f2 and e2. In both of them, I can play queen f3 and say check, and he has one escape square only, and there is and it is e1, and then it is not just e1 but also g1 is failure because I fork his queen. So let's say it is e1, and it goes to e1, and I can still take the pawn with the bishop, say next check. He is running away. I guess this is the way to go, right? It's too much. Oh, it wasn't here. Sad. I had to think one more before giving that check. Okay, what I was thinking, okay, let's put the analysis mode. I was thinking after this, not this, but this. Oh, I didn't see queen goes back. Shit, that was a mistake. I was thinking he has to move the king, for example, here. Then it was the end of a day. Yes, this was my issue. And there are many ways. Like I can take this one. Even I can first take this one and then play other moves. Like after he goes back, I just again check it, and I have a passed pawn. Even if he take my bishop with the rook, I have a passed pawn. Very easily is a win. But yeah, but I didn't see queen comes back. I should have thought about it. And when board change, but the chess is a dynamic game. Yes, board change, and you should double check everything. Yeah. If I was noticing the queen will come back, then I wouldn't go like that. Okay. Know that we can take the queen, and when he takes our queen, we take the rook. And what's let's count. We have two rook and knight and bishop. He has one rook and two knights and one bishop, so we are up. I don't know why it should be so easy. Why it is so easy. Something was wrong. Something was wrong with that. Okay, now let's see why this is not good. It takes, and at the end we attack this rook and this pawn. The point is that we don't win this pawn. You know, this is kind of chess, kind of puzzles that I don't like. It still is, black is better, okay? It's not clearly better, it is better. And black is winning. Slowly but surely black is winning. Just needs to capture that pawn. Like, first I should move this maybe, and then try to capture that pawn. But chess.com prefers the clear win line, which I don't think is a good idea, to have a line that is clear win and another line that is just win. Okay, if I take the bishop with the pawn, his knight is also under attack. This is again something very easy. So if I take the bishop with the pawn, his knight is also under attack, and I am threatening to play pawn to e5 and e6 and win material. So after I take the bishop, he plays knight f4 to prevent my pawn push, right? Because now I don't have a pawn push, but still I feel I have a pawn push. Yeah, I think I have a pawn push anyways. I can push the pawn if you take it with the knight, and then I can pin the knight and attack the rook. So I really don't see why this puzzle is highly rated. Yeah, this was easy, and I saw it from earlier, but I just wasn't sure that if it is that easy. I mean, here I'm attacking the rook and the knight. He should defend one of them. He defends the rook, and I take the knight. Okay, next one. What's wrong with taking the knight? Let's say we take the knight, we are up a material, right? And then he takes the pawn, we says check, and wins our beautiful queen. So this is not the way to go, right? Is it bad? I mean, he says check, wins the queen, but gives up 3 pieces for that. Knight, bishop, and rook, 3 good pieces. I'm happy with this, actually. I'm okay, right? Because he has 1 queen, 1 bishop, and 1 rook to fight against 2 knights, 1 bishop, and 2 rooks. This is just too much. Another thing I'm thinking right now is that I can directly play bishop. I can play bishop g5, attacking his queen and the rook. Right? In this case, if you take my pawn, I take back with the... No, it's not good. It's not good, is it? He takes my pawn, I take back with the king, and then he takes my queen. He takes my queen, and I cannot do anything but taking his queen. After I take his queen, he takes my rook, I take his rook back, and then at the very end he takes my bishop, and he cannot take my bishop because his knight is hanging. Oh, okay, if he take my bishop, I take his knight, and then I have 2 knights left against 1 bishop of him. Is it really good? What if queen escapes? There is no escape room for queen, actually. This is the problem. Yeah, let's do it. I hope that it is not a failure. So I take it with the king, right? And I take the queen. I take the rook. Okay. Here was just calculation. This knight at the end was hanging. If at this moment he takes my bishop, I take the knight. And you can count, right? I'm up a piece. Okay, what to do? I'm thinking if I had the time to push the pawn to f3, then it was basically mate, right? I mean, if my pawn was on f3, then bishop takes c3 check, and king has only one valid square, f1, and then queen. Anywhere any check of queen is mate. Any check from back rank is mate. Like c1, b1, d1, all of them are mate. So unfortunately our pawn is not in f3, and I don't think we have a time to push it to f3 because we will get mated. The situation is not that fun for us. Okay, I'm thinking about this way that I take the pawn with the bishop with check. He has only one square to run, f1. Then queen d1 check. He has only one square to run, g1. And in this case, there are two options. First, queen g4 check. If he goes back, we don't have any plan actually, to be honest. He goes back to f1. We don't have any plan. What if I directly deliver check with the queen at the first move? I don't think that's a good idea. I should involve the bishop. But if I let him to go to f1, he will be super happy. Why? My pawn, why are not on f3? I mean, if it was f3, I could say, put queen c1 checkmate. It was too easy mate. I didn't even need bishop takes c3. Okay, what to do then? Not good. Not good that we don't find it immediately. What's your guess, guys? Okay, I'm thinking about taking the c3 pawn at that's a force move, and he should move. But the downside is that this force move maybe is not the best move. Another option I'm thinking is that I can say check from maybe e4, but it's not super interesting, right? So let's say this we check, and then say the next check with the queen, or no. I think this is also for saying the next check, and it has only one square to go. Then take the g4 pawn, and then what happens? Okay, or I don't take the g4 pawn, I just push my pawn to f3. Then he has, okay, this is the way to go, I guess, right? I say this check, pawn f3. If a king goes to the black square, I can check with the bishop. If it goes to the white square, I can mate with the queen, most likely. Right, I say check here. Black square, I say check with the bishop, okay. Oh, finished, today puzzle finished. And we didn't progress anything, guys. Oh, sad day today. We got -1, I guess, or -2. Okay, see you next day then. Hopefully tomorrow we don't play quick.